Hey quilting friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber. And today I want to talk to you about a subject that gets brought up every now and then in the quilting community, and that is the quilt police. And it's this theory that gets brought up and people get called the quilt police, and it's not a nice term. It's a pretty derogatory term when someone's calling someone else the quilt police. And what it usually refers to is if someone's saying that I'm the quilt police, they're saying that I am policing the way that they make their quilts. I'm telling them how they should do it, and really, I'm telling them that they're doing it wrong. I've done the equivalent of like lit up the lights and sirens and pulled them over to have a talking to with them about what they're doing with their quilts and why they're doing it wrong. And this gets, it's really negative in quilting when we talk about the quilt police. But the roots of someone having that conversation of saying, hey, this is the way that I was taught to do it. I mean, the roots of it, like if you go all the way down, it really is in kindness. And I understand it doesn't usually come across that way, but the roots of it are really in kindness. It's someone saying, hey, I see what you're doing and I see what your intent is in making this quilt, but did you know that if you tried this method or this technique, you might feel more successful? Because some people are taught that a quilt is better if the points match up, or a quilt is better if the fabric is a different contrast. They've been taught that there is a better and worse way to make a quilt. And so the intent of that person who is being the quilt police is to give information that will help the other person. Now, sometimes also this intent of the person who's being the quilt police is that they want to feel knowledgeable, and like that can sometimes come off in a very like I know better and I'm so smarter than you way. But really, all of us have moments in our lives where we just want to feel like, yeah, I know something, I'm smart, right? It feels good to be smart and for other people to value us as being smart and knowing stuff. I mean, really, I have a whole YouTube channel here on telling people things that I know. So yeah, I have a whole YouTube channel like about how I'm smart, I guess, right? But there's a way to say things and a way not to say things, and sometimes for these people who are being labeled as quilt police, it's coming across as the wrong way. They're coming off as like I know better and I know what I'm doing and you're wrong, and none of that feels nice, especially when you're on the receiving end of this. So I don't know that there's a full solution to the quilt police, because there will always be people who know things that they want to share and it comes across poorly, and there will always be people who just like the way that they're doing it and don't want any different information on how to change. So those two forces are really going to be at odds. And then there's also like this whole other group that has a different way of doing it, and it's not the way that you may have learned or that I may have learned, and it's different, and different doesn't always get accepted right away in quilting. And that's something that we definitely can work on in the quilting community, that when we see someone doing something different than the way we're used to, that we examine it and go, oh wow, like I did a video on glue basting binding, and I'll link to that here in case you're curious about glue basting binding. And it would be really easy for people to say, oh my gosh, you don't put glue on a quilt, that's ridiculous. But it was really well received, and I'm glad for that, because it's a different and new technique. So when we see something that's different, we look at it and we consider it, that just because it's different doesn't mean that it's bad. Also, if someone is giving us advice, that we hopefully accept it in the spirit that it's being given. And if we're the person who's giving advice, that we consider the spirit that we're giving it in. Am I giving this advice because I want to be smarter and better and I want someone to know how smart I am, which is not the reason to give advice? Or am I giving the advice because I think the other person will find success and be happier if they have this information? And if that's the reason that I'm giving the advice, then I'm coming from the right place, and that's the best way to start. And I think if we look at all these areas and we each look at how we contribute to this and accept our role in it and try to do better, that maybe we won't have that angry quilt police situation, at least not as much, and that this quilting community can feel just a little bit warmer, a little bit safer. I mean, in general, I really love this quilting community and I have so much fun here, and I'm so happy that you're here joining in. But I think that we can all contribute to making it even better and even more welcoming, especially as we bring in new quilters and more generations of quilters to enjoy this fabulous hobby of cutting up pieces of fabric just to sew them back together again. All right, friends, those are my thoughts for you today. I hope you join in down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this, and maybe what your experiences have been with either being a person who's been accused of being quilt police and deciding that maybe you were or were not, or someone who feels like you've had someone come at you. Maybe we can ease some of that down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I love having all of you as part of this fabulous quilting community. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. I will see you right here real soon. Bye for now.